RealAgriculture.com's coverage of Crop Week 2013 in Saskatoon is brought to you by Nodulator XL, accelerated performance, accelerated yield, and VT500, yields big, stands strong. We're at Crop Week 2013 in Saskatoon. We're here with Daryl from Case IH. Daryl, we're standing in front of a brand new piece of machinery. What are we standing behind?
Yeah, right on. Hi, Sean. And viewers, Sean, you guys do a great job, by the way. Thanks for interviewing us. What we have behind us here is the new 2013 Steiger Quad-Track and a Rowtrac version. So when you're looking for putting a articulated steer tractor with narrow tracks into a tight, narrow row crop application, this is the tractor that you might want to have a look at. We feature the ability to put on 16, 18, or 24-inch tracks. The wheel stance is anywhere from 80, 88, or 120-inch centers. And that just gives the farmer that much more versatility when you get this tractor out to your farm to make sure it suits your application. So
let's look at some of the features of the tractor.
Yep. Okay,
and have a look.
Yeah, so the new thing for the Rowtrac is obviously the narrower track that I talked about. So Sean, if you just have a quick look, the tracks are available from two different manufacturers, Goodyear and Camoplast, both of which are going to give you very similar performance as far as longevity. The track is mounted onto a different undercarrier, something that is different from today's quad track.
It looks different.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, we have a larger drive wheel, which gives us, basically if we go narrower track, we need a longer contact area. So with the larger diameter, we get the longer contact area to the track. Okay, because for the most part, these tracks do run by friction, and then when the pulling gets tough, the drive lugs become more a part of the drive. Underneath that, new for the quad track, we have actually built-in suspension now on the rollers. So if we look down here, Sean, you'll see we have iso blocks, rubber block suspension, and then immediately at the back end, immediately at the front, there's basically just a round rubber suspension bushing as well. That allows, let's say you're driving this tractor over some railway tracks or washboard roads or maybe rocks in your field. That allows that just very sudden impact, slight impact to be taken up right there in the rollers. So it gives us a much smoother ride into the chassis of the tractor. Okay, so this is a row crop. Now, yeah, do I have to grow a row crop to use a tractor like this? Yeah, great question. No, ideally that's where we'd like to get with it, but we do have some dryland guys running broadacre, where they may want to run smaller horsepower. We've kind of lost the small horsepower segment in our quad track over the last couple of years. So this new tractor is smaller than 450 horsepower. The original quad track, we're not going away from it. That tractor is available 450, 500, 550, and 600 horsepower. The new Rowtrac is available in 450, 400, and 350. And the big difference is the narrowness of frame. So we're down to a 36.5 inch width of frame, still with half-inch plate material. So it's built as strong as a big fella, but meant for nice, tight, narrow rows. Can we look at the back here? So as you look at the back, this one, because it is set up for row crop, you'll see that there's a 3-point hitch on it. PTO drive as well, so if you're wanting to pull a grain cart with this tractor, no problem. And with the new Tier 4 tractors, late model 2011 and later, you can put both PTO and a second hydraulic drive pump on it. So you can put up to 113 US gallons per minute through this tractor to an implement. You can run it through the regular service valves on the back, up to 8. And if you get up to 8, you get a joystick control. So if a guy's interested in putting a push blade on it for silage, no problem, you can run it through factory joystick. But you can also put a PTO on. So we can run for the guys pulling big air seeders, big hydraulic flow demands, no problem. Two hydraulic pumps pulling the grain cart, no problem with the PTO shaft. And we can put out on the Steiger quad tracks, this will depend on the horsepower, but up to 500 horsepower through the PTO. It's available on all of them. We also have the ability to put this into a scraper application, not this Rowtrac, but the regular quad track. So there are different hitches available specifically designed for scrapers. But the main important thing here is the frame is built to take on both. So we don't put extra components in to handle a higher, more aggressive situation. It comes built to go into a heavier application right off the bat. So we carry that right through into the Rowtrac. Very nice, strong built frame. There's a couple nice other features on here that we can talk about. Sean, some other innovations on the new Steigers. This is an option on a wheeled unit, but it's standard equipped on a quad track. And that's the same on a Rowtrac. What you'll find is we've basically isolated the cab through a suspension system from the chassis. So any roughness of road, roughness in field. What we have inside of here is basically a coil spring dampened through a pressurized nitrogen shock absorber, and then we limit or control the sway and the rocking action of the cab through panhard bars and anti-sway bars. So it does two things. It gives the rider a more comfortable feel in the cab. It just helps us keep things intact in the cab better than some of our older quad tracks that may be a little rougher riding. But it also gives us more precision drive. Because we're suspending the cab, the GPS antenna is attached to the cab, it has less movement in rougher conditions.
Well, and the farmers spend a lot of time in these machines. And so, you know, cab comfort is probably more important than we initially probably thought through the years, and now they've become, you know, cabins. They're suites.
You're exactly right.
They're very nice.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Sean. So if you look at some of the inside, if we talk a bit about that, older tractors and even some of today's competitors of our Case IH tractors, the seat will only swivel 20 degrees to the right. The new cab layout, we can swivel up to 40 degrees. You know, with GPS auto steer systems, you're looking like this most of the time than you are like this. So we're allowed to pivot around, and that's given us the ability now to, an opportunity, shall I say, to move the headliner and put all of our in-cab controls on the right-hand side of the headliner. So the customer, when he is pivoted like that, has very easy access to those controls.
Yeah, spending 18 hours a day with your neck to the right is not necessarily very comfortable for anybody that's ever done it.
That's right. You got it, Sean.
Okay, from a serviceability standpoint, we've really made things simple with the new quad tracks.
Yeah, you know, for the farmers that do their own service, let's face it, they're not all taking them to dealerships. So we're trying to give them easier access to the components that need to be changed on a regular basis. Things like your hydraulic oil filters, 1,500-hour changeout time frame, now are right outside the chassis. So underneath the right-hand service door, you're going to find the hydraulic implement filters. These tractors, I did mention you could put 2 hydraulic pumps on it. If you have 2 pumps, you'll have 2 filters, and they'll be located right here. Single pump, single filter, just as we see there. The other thing we have underneath the service doors are DEF solution. For DEF is diesel exhaust fluid solution that we inject into the exhaust stream to reduce the nitrogen oxide emissions out of the exhaust stack, which we've talked about before on your show, Sean. So here's that tank now. You can see it, 46 and 64 US gallons. Left-hand, right-hand side fill, internal heat exchange unit to keep things nice and fluid, shall we say.
But not climbing all over the machine.
It's nice, isn't it? Yeah, ground level, walk up to it. Especially as our operators age, we're just trying to keep things a lot simpler, better balanced, safer. So, for sure.